Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Frappeverse 2025. I am Navin Hait, one of the co-founder of Frappe and a maintainer of ERPNext and HRMS application. So in this session, we will talk about the product updates for all of our enterprise business applications, what we did in the last 1 year, and what is our future plans looks like. So last year's highlight was the community collaboration. If you see, in the last 2-3 years, our team mostly focused on the stability and performance. They did not ship a lot of new features or improved a lot of user experience of the product. So we wanted to change that this year. But our internal team was mostly busy with handling support tickets. So they had no bandwidth to work on new features or user experiences. So we decided, why not collaborate with the community developers? No, we have a great community. So many of you know about Resilient Tech, right? They are the creator and maintainer of the India compliance application. And Smith and Sagar both are CS in their team. And at the same time, they are great developer too. So a killer combination to work on accounts module, right? So I approached them to work on the accounts module, collaborate with us, and they readily agreed. And as a result, in the last 6 months, they shipped multiple enhancements in the accounts module. Similarly, we did not have a lot of bandwidth to work on the ERPNext integration, which is a very crucial part for the ERPNext like application, right? On the other hand, we saw that Arely worked on lot of integrations for the ERPNext application. So we collaborated with him to maintain all of our ERPNext integrations this year. And they did not only work on the integrations, they also worked they also shipped lot of fixes towards the core product stability. Most of you know Hussein, right? So he is the face of the community. He conducts a lot of training sessions to the community developers, and he is the closest to the community developers. He knows most that what actually community developer wants in the framework. So he is the right person to enhance the framework features. So if you know that he started his own company 2-3 months ago. So we collaborated with him to enhance the framework and also work on the Frappe Cloud Marketplace. Again, another story, Hybro Labs. So they worked on HRMS and payroll module implementation for multiple enterprises. And they also build a lot of enhancements for India-related compliances and policies. So we collaborated with him to build India payroll application to enhance the HRMS application. Similarly, we collaborated with lot of community partners to work on localization and compliance app for their countries. So this year we have added localization for 5 countries: Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Kenya, and Uganda. So if you thinking to collaborate with us, I would say just start contributing, and do small contribution at first. Focus on the quality, deliver quality, build your reputation, then think about the deeper collaboration. It will not come on the first day, right? And if you don't know about the coding, still you can contribute. We have documentation, right, which is in very bad shape, by the way. So there is a great scope to collaborate on the documentation front. Other than that, we increased our team size, in-house team size for the ERPNext and HRMS application this year. Along with onboarding lot of developers, we also onboarded one product manager, Dipen was, maybe Dipen, who had over 15 years of experience implementing ERPs, not only ERPNext, lot of other ERPs as well. So we onboarded him as a product manager to work with community and get the feature request and build a roadmap for us, the developers. So from the past few months, he has collaborated with multiple community partners to understand the product gaps, and based on that requirement, he is building a roadmap. So yes, we are building a roadmap now. So primary sources of roadmap is basically the GitHub issue, where all the community members basically raised all the issues all the feature requests they want. So the pen is basically going through all the GitHub issues and prioritizing them based on upvotes. So if you want any specific features, just go to the GitHub and thumbs up. You know? Apart from the GitHub issues, another sources obviously the Frappe partners, the community members is connecting with them and understanding the requirement. And another thing is enterprises. So a lot of our enterprise customers want a lot of new features. And they directly reach us via CSM. So we also put them in the roadmap. So overall, I would say that last year was a very balanced year. We not only focused on the stability, but we almost ticked in all the boxes for all kind of activities. So in terms of stability, we have closed almost 1,500 GitHub issues. We have resolved 7,000 L2 tickets, and we also merged 5,000 pull requests. Apart from stability, we also worked on performances this year, and Ankush maybe. So he dedicatedly spent 3 to 4 months to improve the performance of the framework, and as a result, now framework performance is almost 2x faster now. This year we also refactored a lot of outdated code, like in assets module, right? So we have refactored and rewritten the entire code of the asset module this year. We also refactored TDS module, budgeting, a lot of accounting module reports as well. Along with this, we also shipped a lot of new features this year. We introduced a whole new module called subcontracting inwards, who are doing subcontracting business themselves. They can use that now. And apart from that, we also shipped MRP features in the manufacturing module. We shipped customized financial statement. In the payroll, we shipped long awaited feature, overtime and arrears. So all those things we have added. And also we have made significant effort on the UI UX. We are bringing back our iconic desktop, which was in the version 7. We have redesigned our desktop and workspaces. We also introduced scrollable list view and scrollable grid view, which was very requested feature from the community from a long time. So you will see all the demo for all these features after me. Yeah, so the question is when V16 will come. We still don't know the date, but definitely by the December. Yeah. So what our future plans looks like, I would say that there is no silver bullet, to make the product great overnight. So we have to continue working on all the activities, whether it is stability, performance, new features, everything, But what we want to do this year, that we want to increase our volume and the shipping speed. So that's why we are increasing our team size also and collaborating with the community. But if you really want to ask me that what is my favorite, so that would be user experience. I want to focus on the user experience this year. So yeah, we are maintaining a V17 roadmap on the GitHub, so you can maybe track that. And before ending my talk, I just want to highlight that we have reached these milestones. We have reached 28,000 GitHub stars on ERPNext, 6,000 GitHub stars on Frappe HR, and 9,000 GitHub star on framework. Thanks for all the love, and that's it.
Hello everyone, hope you had a wonderful morning. So myself, Rutra, I work as an engineer in the ERPNext accounts team. So in the next couple of minutes, I'll just quickly showcase what we've been up to for the past 1 year. So like Nabin said, primarily I focused only on performance and stability. Let's start with few examples. So in accounts, the primary source of information for any business user is the financial statements. And one such statement is the receivable report. But we've had frequent complaints that on very large customers, for very large customers, the data volume is so high, the receivable report timed out frequently. So I worked deliberately on this problem and came up with a solution. It's just DB cursors. I rewrote critical parts of the components which uses raw SQL to use DB cursors. And we now have like a 15% reduction in the runtime of the report across all scenarios, be it small or large, however much large volume of data you have, it doesn't matter. You have a across the scale reduction in runtime. Another major thing that I worked on is the budgeting feature. Even though it's a very small one and seldom used, there are some really big clients who make use of it. The thing about budgeting is it's real time, which means it uses the general ledger as its source of truth. And for large clients, as you're aware, this can lead to severe performance issues. So I rewrote it from the ground up, and it's significantly faster now. The thing is now, any kind of rewrite is prone to severe bugs or major drawbacks. So to make it less painful, we have provided the option to opt out if needed. So you have this option available in the settings. If you really don't want to, you can opt out, but I highly recommend you do it because the more you use the new controller method, the more and faster and better it gets. So that covers the performance part. Let's move on to stability. So this is a major thing that I did. So this thing called reactivity. Let me quickly explain what it is. So in any sales or purchase transactions, the most common activity that you do is add an item, right? But you would have noticed that when you add an item from the drop-down, a system automatically fills in the supplementary information, the rate or the available quantity or the description. So this behavior can simply be called as reactivity. But the problem is, this behavior is entirely done on the client side using JavaScript, which is prone to async bugs and severe performance issues on large sites. So I have no other option. So after much deliberation inside the team, we decided to move the entirety of this behavior to the Python side. So this completely eliminates the async bugs, much more performant, much easier to extend as well for third-party customers who want to extend using client script. They don't have to rely on the client script now. They can just actually override the method on the server side. It's much easier to maintain. As with the budgeting feature, we made an option to opt out of this because since it's a very major breaking change, we have decided, okay, let's not completely break for everybody. We just add an option. So if you really want, if your client scripts are really old and you're not able to immediately move, you can still opt out of this feature and still have your client scripts work. So stability is not just rewriting code and improving performance. Sometimes you need stability in your features. So many of you are aware, like accounts has two major ledgers. One is the payment and the general ledger. But even with those two, there are certain scenarios involving advance payments where the reconciliation is not possible if your previous fiscal year is closed, your books are closed. So to handle specifically that, we added one more ledger just for handling advance payments. This completely eliminates all of the drawbacks and limitations that we had with the previous design. So any kind of reconciliation scenarios where your advance is allocated to a sales or purchase order in your closed books, you can still reconcile them in your current fiscal year. So it's not just performance improvements and stability. One major new addition in the financial statement is a consolidated trial balance. As you're all aware, ERPNext supports a multi-company setup, wherein specifically it also supports a parent-child kind setup. We already have the consolidated profit and loss and balance sheet, and we are adding a trial balance report to that group in the V16.
So today, guys, I am going to share two amazing or exciting features, that we've contributed. And yeah, so the first one, every CFO has the same dream. They want perfect financial statements. But this is not easy. It comes in various forms. Let's say, for example, in India, we could have IFRS format. We could have trading and profit and loss account, something like it's there in Tally. We could have Schedule 3 for Companies Act, and many, many more. And these changes from region to region. Can there be one solution that could solve this problem? Meet financial report template. This gives you full flexibility. You could have your any format with any kind of calculation to meet any of the compliance requirements. Let's see this in action. We build a few standard templates that will come out of the box, showcasing one of them to you. Going to an existing balance sheet, there will be an option to select report template. This is a standard IFRS template for balance sheet, clean, having bold, italics, custom rows, calculations, even ratios maybe. Yeah. You could simply change from summary to account breakdown to see account level breakdown for each rows. Let's see some more complex examples. This is a profit and loss statement. The first one will be as per IFRS. This can have gross profit, operating profit, that's EBITDA or EBIT, net profit, etc., etc. Going forward, we have horizontal or columnar profit and loss, something like the users in Tally love, with purchase account instead of gross profit. Having colored values maybe. Also, we have added one simple validation row, which could highlight if there is any problem with the calculations that's going on. So over here, probably the depreciation is missed out in the formula. This is very easy to configure. It's just about defining how your rows should look like. Let's see this in action. Yes, so this is like all the rows, very similar to how doctype works, with multiple data sources, including custom APIs. You could have column break, section break, etc. Just give a display name, give a filter. It could be even more complex filters with and or conditions, specify formats, and you are done. We are trying to still improve UX over here, if possible. So it's just like building this report once, configuring this once, and it works for you forever. Now you could build probably a cash flow statement as compliant with IFRS, maybe ratios, maybe any other MIS reports that you would want. So this was financial report template. Next up, we have made huge enhancements with tax withholding. While we were providing support to the users on Frappe Cloud, we found that this was a very big pain area for all the users. We accumulated all the problems, and then we came up with a solution that could give users ability to have more than one tax rate per invoice. So tax withholding will now be possible to be configured from item level. It gives you perfect visibility and even gives you more control. Let's see this in action. It's a simple duplicate invoice, having more than one tax category within an invoice across items. Gives you full visibility about where it's deducted from, and you can even manually override it if required. This wasn't as easy as we thought, but yes, now it looks good. So yeah, that's all from my side, guys.
Hi everyone. So today, now I'm going to tell you guys about the improvements on point of sale. So the first question, why point of sale? So you guys are aware of this, one of the most famous marketplace apps called Pause Awesome. So it was built by a community member. It was open source, but then something happened and they closed source it. So users who were using the Pause Awesome, they tried to find alternative for it. So we ERPNext was already existing, but it was missing some vital features. Uh, and we decided to like, yeah, why not improve our point of sale and maybe fill the gap which was left by Pause Awesome. So what are the improvements? So first, now on point of sale, you can use both Pause invoice and sales invoice. So earlier at the day end, you were only able to get the GL entries and the stock ledger entries during pause closing at the time of pause consolidation. But now, if you configure it to use sales invoice from the point of sale, it will be posting the GL entries and stock ledger entries right at the time of selling. So yeah, so now this is like small demo where like you can see like both uh, accounting ledger and the stock ledger, both you can see right at the point of selling. Next we have draft invoice. So suppose there's a situation where your customers decided to drop off in the midway of billing. So now the point of sale user have the choice to either save it or discard it depending upon the situation. So if they decide to save it, they can get back from the recent order and then edit it, and then they can add item, discard item, and then complete the order finally. Yeah. Next, we have split payments. So earlier it was there in the ERPNext point of sale, but the UX was not so great. Like the clarity of which payment method was being selected by the user was not like it was not clarity. Like it you didn't have much clarity. So now we like improved the user experience and polished a bit, and then you can use both. Like in the demo, you have seen like we have used both on-screen numpad and the physical keyboard simultaneously to enter the amount, and you can also change the payment method using physical keyboard too. Next, we have additional details on pause. So as you can like is the invoice, like the pause invoice field, like in the pause invoice doc type or the sales invoice doc type, there are like multiple fields, but all the fields are not visible on the point of sale screen. So we decide like on the from the pause settings, you can configure it, like add the field name whatever you want to, or like make sure like the user uses it, like feels it during completion of the order. So they can mark it as mandatory and enter the default value. And if suppose there's no default value but it is marked as mandatory, it will make sure that the during order completion, you fill the field and then only you can complete the order. Finally, is this one was the most requested feature. Like people have raised GitHub issue, people have raised it through support tickets that the item names are too large. I mean, they have long, like it is too long. So in that case, the on the grid view, what happens was that what was happening that the item name was getting clipped and all. So therefore, we decided to make a list view for it, item list view. So now you can see all the like the proper item names, like the full item name. Yeah, and we fixed around 80 bugs on the point of sale, and yeah, now ERPNext POS is awesome, I guess.
Hi everyone. So I'm presenting the V16 features related to stock and manufacturing model. The first is serial number batch traceability report. So in automobile industry, when a company receives multiple complaints about their product, they have to first identify a defective batch. Then they have to find which product has used the same batch so that they can recall all the affected products and fix them. So to find this information, serial and batch traceability report plays an important role. So in this report, we have a direction filter, which is a backward traceability, which tells you which are the raw materials were used to produce a batch or serial number. Also, we have a forward traceability. With this, user will know which batch has used to produce a specific item and where it has been used. Next is the sequential manufacturing. So suppose there is a use case. Let's say you want to use the output of one operation as an input or as a raw material for next operation. And you have one of the operation is a subcontracting. So to handle this use case, currently user has to make a work orders for each operation. And for subcontracting operation, they have to create a subcontracting order. But with this approach, the problem was they had to make multiple work orders, and maintaining all of or tracking all of the work orders under a single entity was hard. Also, there was no linking between them, so maintaining a sequence was also hard. So to fix the issue, now we have added a feature in version 16 where user will able to make a stock entry of a manufacturing against the job card. So you don't need to create a multiple work orders, just with a single work order, this use case will be handled. So to enable this feature, you have to make some configuration in the BOM level. You have to enable the track semi-finished goods as a checkbox, and then you have to map the semi-finished good or the finished good against the operation with the bill of materials. Next is a closing stock entry for inventory, for a periodic inventory. So in perpetual inventory, when a user submits a stock transaction, system automatically creates the GL entry. But in periodic inventory, user has to compare the stock balance report with the trial balance report, find the difference amount, and then make a journal entry to book the accounting transaction. So to automate this, we have introduced a new entry type, which is a periodic accounting entry. And then user has to click on the get balance, so system will automatically fetch the difference amount. Next is the landing cost for post-manufacturing. So suppose you have manufactured your finished good in the mid of the month, and you have received the electricity bill at the end of the month. And now you want to add the cost of the electricity in the valuation of the finished item. So to do that, we never had any option. But in V16, now you will be able to make a landed cost voucher against the manufacturer stock entry. Similarly, for subcontracting case, suppose you have a fixed transporter who sends a transportation bill at the end of the month, and you want to add the transportation cost in the subcontracted item. So to do that, now you will be able to make a landed cost voucher against the subcontracting receipt. Next is a workstation operating component. So in the workstation, the operating components used to be hard-coded. And if user wants to add more components, then they had only option of customization. So to solve this, we have added a child table where user can now able to add dynamic components. Also, user will be able to add company-wise expense account against each operating component. Next feature is the MRP. And so story behind the MRP. So none of the customer has asked for this feature because we have a production plan, and production plan has the MRP feature, and it covers both make to stock and make to order case. But we are constantly hearing from the partner that this is not an ideal MRP. So to understand how MRP works in general, me and Dipen have taken a calls with the partners like Vedar Solution, Electrons, and few others. And based on their input, we have developed this feature. So to understand how material requirement planning works, we came to know that demand planning is important. So for that, we have introduced a master production schedule document. And to make a better planning, we required different source of data. So we already have a sales order and the material request, but we never had a sales forecast and the delivery schedules. So we have introduced this feature as well. So based on this source data, user has to make a master production schedule. And after that, they have to run the MRP report. So in the MRP, you will be able to see the available materials along with their required quantity. And this quantity will be calculated based upon the finished good quantity. And we have also introduced the lead time to calculate the release date, because we have to make sure that right materials will be available at the right time. Once the MRP is finalized, user will be able to make a purchase order or the work order from the MRP report itself.
Hello everyone, I am Mihir, I'm an engineer here at Frappe, and I'm the model owner for subcontracting, and I work on stock and manufacturing as well alongside Rohit. So today one of the biggest features that we're introducing in V16 is subcontracting inward. So let's first understand what is subcontracting inward. Currently in ERPNext V15, we have the subcontracting module that deals with you as the customer sending raw materials out to a third-party supplier for manufacturing. They are the ones manufacturing, and then you receive the finished goods from them. So in this case, we are the ones that will be doing the manufacturing, and we will be the ones receiving the raw materials from the customer. So we are the supplier here, and we'll be doing this for a customer. So it's the exact inverse of what we currently have. So this was a feature highly requested by community members and partners and customers alike. So let's see the rough flow chart of how it works. Okay, this is there's some problem we'll have to skip this. So the subcontracting inward, the first step will be a subcontracted sales order, which is very similar to the purchase order, subcontracted purchase order. If you have used the subcontracting module, there will be a simple is subcontracted button checkbox here. Once you select this, you will have to select the service item, and the finished good and the conversion factor, everything will be fetched automatically from the subcontracting BOM. So that will be the first step. You save and submit. You will have an option to create a new subcontracting inward order, and this is a completely new doc type, where you will have to specify the customer warehouse where you want to deliver the manufactured finished goods. And once you save and submit the document, and automatically the raw materials required for the production will be fetched. So after that, once you create the subcontracting inward order, you just have to receive the raw materials from the customer. Now here's an interesting thing here. First thing, we have introduced many new stock entry types for subcontracting inward, and one thing you'll notice here is that these items, CPU and motherboard, which I have taken as an example, are customer provided items, but yet here they seem to have a rate. But this is not right, because this is not our stock. We're just holding them for a while till our manufacturing process. So if you go into the stock and accounting ledger, you will see that even though there is a basic rate on both of these items, there is no valuation rate any kind of valuation rate, because these are not your items. So there will be no changes to the books, no stock in hand changes, things like that. So even the general ledger is completely zero for that stock entry. So once you receive the raw materials from the customer, you just have to create a work order, which is the exact same procedure that we've been following in ERPNext for a long time. And once you create the work orders and the manufacturing entries, all you have to do is deliver the finished goods to the customer. Okay. So yeah, you deliver the finished goods, everything will be pre-populated for you, the items and the quantities based on what you have manufactured. So now I would like to that was subcontracting inward. There's one stock and manufacturing feature that I would like to talk about. That is stock reservation for subcontracting and production. So previously in ERPNext V15, we have the stock reservation feature for sales order, where if you want to commit some stock to a particular sales order to ensure that you don't use this committed stock against another transaction. So now we have extended that functionality to subcontracting order as well as production plan. So for an example, I have taken an example of production plan, and now once you save the production plan, you will get an option to reserve the stock. Once you check on this, you will see that the raw materials that were in the table have been reserved. And one interesting thing here is once you create a work order against this production plan, you will see that the items, the stock reservation will be transferred from the production plan. So this is a work order that I have already made, and I submit this. And if I go into stock reservation, you will see that the stock reservation has been transferred from the production plan to the work order.
So if you're wondering who this new person is and where is Rucha, hi, I'm Asmata. Rucha and Akash have started working on other products, which you'll hear about tomorrow. But today, let me and my colleague Aisha bring you the updates for Frappe HR this year. So Frappe HR has grown from 3K active sites to 6K active sites on FC since the last year. For such an important product, you would think that the most important part is support. And so we throw our newest engineers at the job. This was me last year. From the 200 plus support tickets that I handled, almost 40% of those come from just the two modules, leaves and attendance. And so since they are the most important modules and the most used modules, most of the development and bug fixes and improvement that went into this year went into these two submodules. The most common problem of check-ins not being considered for attendance is that the check-in time is outside the shift hours. But the check-ins wouldn't tell you that is the case, and now they do so. So if the check-in is outside hours, you just check the necessary option and have your attendance marked correctly. The other most common problem was the incorrect value for last sync of check-in. So now you can just automatically set it to update every day, and so have it take care for you instead of you having to go manually update the last sync of check-in. The other most requested feature was half day in attendance. If you create a leave application for a half day, the check-ins that you would create for the other half would be lost, which would result in losing the attendance information as well. Now we've introduced a field called status for the other half in the attendance document, which would track the status for this other half. You can also set this status from the employee attendance tool if this is what you use. And you can have the absent status reflect in the absent days. So you no longer have to create leave without pays, leave applications just to correct your payroll. And if you like to see the monthly attendance report at the end of every month, you also get to see the detailed status for the half day. Earned leaves are the type of leaves that are credited at the end of every period, like a month or a quarter. When you allocate earned leaves, there was no schedule that was visible upfront. So the users wouldn't know when the leave allocation is being allocated or if the leave have been allocated. And if there is a problem, what would you do? So now you get to see the schedule in the leave allocation document. And if there's a problem, you get an indicator and get an option to retry the failed allocations right there. Even after this, if there is some adjustment you want to make, either allocate or reduce, there is a new leave adjustment doc type that would let you adjust the balance for your leave allocations right from the leave allocation, either allocate or reduce with a reason and have that reduction reflect in your leave balance. So currently, you set the holiday list in Employee Master, but every year you change the holiday list. There is no historic record of what happened the last year. The problem that comes is when auto-attendance marks attendance, it would mark incorrect attendance for the previous year's holidays, which would have no attendance because they were holidays. So now there is a new doc type also to keep this historic track of holiday list assignments assigned to your employees. And that's not it. Holiday list gets one more update, which is half days. This is also one of the most requested features. You can set which of the holidays are half days. And the most important place this affects is in shift types. So now, even though the total shift hours are so 8 and 9 hours, and on half days, if the working hours are half the total hours, the status would be marked as present.
Hi everyone, I'm Aisha. I'm an engineer here at Frappe, and I've been working on HRMS, primarily the payroll module, for close to 9 months now with my colleague Smita. And in the upcoming update for payroll, we have tried our best to include the features which have been asked for quite some time. And we have tried our best to keep things as transparent and flexible as possible so that HR users can accommodate different business use cases. So at first, we have managing overtime payouts, which I hope will not be used a lot. But yeah, this has been requested and talked about for a long time, and it is here now. And let's see how we can go about it. So we start by configuring an overtime type wherein you can enter all details that you want, whether it be the number of hours you want to allow per day and how you want the overtime earnings to be calculated. It could be a dynamic amount based on the employee's salary or a fixed hourly rate. We also have a multiplier section wherein if you want to handle different scenarios like pay out a higher amount for a weekday or a holiday, that can also be handled. Now, so as to pay out overtime earnings for a period, you can create an overtime slip. But if you want to avoid the manual process, you can choose to include this within the normal payroll process by enabling that in the settings. So when you're processing salary, you have the option to create and submit overtime slip. And as a result, the system ensures that as per the check-in logs, we calculate the overtime amounts and it is paid out in the next payroll cycle, right? Next, we have employee benefits. So now handling of employee benefits is much better now. Let's see. So we start by configuring the different flexible benefit components you want to avail for the employee. So we have different payout methods here wherein so as to accommodate different scenarios. You can choose the apt one. We now also have a new component which is salary accrual. So if you want to build up a certain amount or accrue it each payroll cycle, you can choose to do so and pay it out as and when required. And so once that is assigned to the employees, all the accrued benefits will be logged into the system each month as and when payroll is processed. So as we know, accrued earnings are not immediately paid out. So we need a proper method to track it, which is why we have introduced employee benefit ledger to keep track of all such needs. So all the details like what, whether or not it's a normal flexible benefits or an accrual component, everything is logged. A better way to view this is through the accrued earnings report, wherein you can see in one glance the total amount which is accrued, total payout, whatever is pending to be paid out, etc. Right? And if it's a normal accrual component, you can immediately record payout by clicking on create additional salary and ensure that the employee gets the amount as in like in the upcoming payroll cycle. Now, yeah, next is loss of pay correction. Huge thanks to Chanel from Hybro Labs for contributing towards contributing a big part of this feature. So mistakes happen sometimes, right? So we need a way to correct it to ensure that employees are fairly compensated. Say, for example, an employee received a lesser salary due to a mistakenly entered check-in log or an absent day that has been marked mistakenly. We can correct it through the payroll correction doc type, wherein once we choose the employee and the month you want to enter the correction for, all the missing details are fetched, and it ensures that in the next month or the next payroll cycle, employee is fairly compensated. Next is that we support a multi-currency and expense claims. Say, for example, you claimed an employee claimed an advance from the company in Indian rupee, but you want to create a claim against it in a different currency. That can also be done. Also, any difference in say exchange rate, any loss or gain caused due to exchange rate is also taken care of, and this was done by my colleague Rahil. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm here to talk about the updates in framework. Framework is something we call as actually developer tool, but we are including it in ERPNext because a lot of what framework makes happen is actually impact in ERPNext. And while so over the last couple of years, I think we have had a lot of this dilemma about what is framework and how do we take it forward. Because ERPNext is such a stable product now, like any change you make to the framework has huge implications. And we have been really wondering about what the future of framework is. I think the whole direction of what is the future of framework started with the creation of Frappe books at some point to explore a different UI paradigm. So I'm just here to show you like what we have been working on and all the dilemmas that we have kind of hit in the last year or so. So this is one feedback that we received in our churn, that ERPNext is the most frustrating open source software I've ever used. And I'm like, Frappe Cloud, whatever, and then see, you should take a page from Zoho and learn how UI UX should be done, right? And we took this to heart, right? I mean, we agree with this, by the way, that ERPNext is very overwhelming and it is very frustrating to use, like until you get it, like and the point at which you get it is when you start to learn use the awesome bar, right? Once you start using the awesome bar, then it is very easy. But until you figure that out, like the navigation is extremely hard. And the reason why ERPNext is overwhelming is that there is no information hierarchy, like because the whole framework is structured around this idea of doc type. It does not have a very clear hierarchy, even though we have modules. Like modules are not first class in ERPNext. They are just there. And then we had something we call a workplace. So let's quickly look at how the desk front end evolved, right? This is version 7. This used to be the desk, and iPads were out, and this made a really nice hierarchical screen of now you can have beautiful icons that you can pick and get into a module. Somehow we were not very happy with desk for whatever reason, the iconic desktop. And then we kind of had this kind of weird kind of mutation of the iconic desktop, which is maybe now we have sections for different categories. Then in version 15, version 14, I think we came out with this workspace that like nobody knows what the home screen should look like, right? So let people design their own home screens, and we came out with this really basic default home screens for everybody. And then we also introduced a sidebar where you can switch through different workplaces. So now you have modules, you have doc types, and you have workspaces, and there is no real correlation in any of those, right? And all of this navigation mess is what makes ERPNext very overwhelming to use. So we went on multiple projects, right? So this is actually from last year. This is June of 24. So Rucha said, I'm going to rewrite desk, right? We've always been wanting to rewrite desk, and we'll rewrite it, and we'll learn from all the cool things that we've been using at Frappe CRM. So this was what that desk rewrite project looked like every module. And this was built in Vue.js using Frappe UI components. Like the idea was, okay, now we have Frappe UI, we have Espresso, why not bring it to framework? Because no point having two different front-end libraries. And this was a project she started, and then somehow we realized that the direction in which this is going, like why not take it, like if you're doing a rewrite, like, why not just do a very, very big rewrite? Let's rethink how we do front ends, right? Why do we want to again reuse the same components? And then we said, let's go one level deeper and build Studio, right? And Studio is actually the future of framework, but this you'll hear about Studio tomorrow. But this was the experiment we did last year to kind of bring Frappe UI front end to Desk and the framework. And this is what the CRM screen looks like. We somehow polished this screen over the last year. I think it looks really cool, again, thanks to Timeless and Sandeep. Sandeep is here. And so we have this really cool polished looking UI. We have really nice forms, and we have a consistent sidebar, and the sidebar is limited, right? What you realize is when you're looking at one module, you have limited sidebar, but ERPNext has 500 objects, and it's really hard to navigate without it. Yeah, and then that was the Studio. So there was one big problem in version 14, right? Is that if you look at the traditional way the user attention goes across the screen, it starts from the top left and then it goes right ways and it goes downwards, right? And the version 15 had a major problem. I hated this. Like, the title is on the left and all the important stuff you see is actually useless stuff, right? The assigned to and created and filters, right? You don't want to see this, right? You want, like, this really triggered me, right? Because it doesn't seem right, this gap. And so, yeah, this is 15 list view. So we tried to bring in, you don't see the colors here, the grays, but we tried to bring the same paradigm that we had in Frappe CRM and to ERPNext now. So now we have like the title and the details that are aligned, and all the useless information goes, like, not useless, but like not so frequent information, that details go on the right side. And then, we have the form view, which is also the same problem. Again, the same problem with the list and the form. I think, yeah. So this is what the current experiment looks like. I mean, this comes about with a lot of detail, and I think Saqib comes out with the idea that, hey, why not just do it in Desk, right? Why not just create the module shell, but not using Frappe UI, just using the standard components, obviously, so that you can reuse all your client scripts and other customizations on top of it. So this is what the proposed version 16 front end looks like. So every module will now, every workspace will have its own sidebar, where you get a very contained feeling that you are within one module. And then you can go to the desktop and, you can go to different modules. Yeah. And you're not restricted, like users is not a module, but, you can create now new structures, like ERPNext is now broken down into simpler apps. So this is the direction we're going. This is still very unfinished. We just wanted to show it for the demo. And hopefully before version 16 release, it's be way more polished, but this is the general direction. So yeah, nothing is happening. We are continuing with the desk. As I call, the desk is dead. Long live the desk. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Ijaz, engineer at Frappe. So it all started with an interview. Like, I wanted to join the Frappe. I applied first time, then I got rejected, and I applied again. I applied 4 times, but I haven't got shortlisted for the interview. So I text Rushabh that, hey, I want to join Frappe, and this is how I got shortlisted for the interview. And my first round was with Rushabh. I was sitting next to him. He just opened the GitHub issues and sorted the GitHub issues by most reaction. As you can see, it has 21 thumbs up. So this was the most requested by the community at that time, horizontal scrollable child table. So he asked me, like, will you do this? I said yes. So yeah, this is how the horizontal scrollable child table feature was built. Here's a quick demo. Now you can add as many columns as you want in the child table. And now there is no restrictions of 10 columns or n number of columns. But when this feature got merged, there is one issue. Like if I scroll the item, as you can see, item, it also got scroll with all the details. And sometimes we want some details, some important details like item name or quantity or rate to stick to the left while I scroll, so I can see the important details while I scroll. So for this, we have built, like we have shift another feature called as sticky column or pin column to the left. Yeah, so that we can view important details while we scroll or we do other operations. When this feature got merged, I posted it on LinkedIn and got lots of love from the community. Like as you can see, 18.2K impressions, near about 350 likes. And then community wanted same thing in the list view, like we have in the grid view or child table. Because same restrictions was in the list view, you can add only 10 columns, and even if you add 10 columns, it's very hard to see the details. So to fix this issue, we have made list view scrollable, horizontal scrollable, and now there's no restrictions. You can add columns without any restrictions. But yeah, this is how, here is a quick demo. Yeah, while I was working on this, uh, this is a very frustrating thing for me, the list view mobile design. Like if you see in the version 15, the filters are by default open and you can see only one column with status. But in the new list view design, which will come in version 16, you can add two more columns to the list view. Like as you can see in the list view design, the filters are by default collapse and you can see more details in the list view design. Yeah, apart from this, there was a print format for doc type. We can we can create print formats for doc type, but we don't have a option in the desk to create print format for reports. We can create if you want, we can create via HTML files. Like there are some ways, but now in version 15 and version 16, we can create print formats for report. So here's a quick demo. In print format, you will get an option to select for what you have to create a print format, for example, report or doc type. And then you will have to select the report and you can add your HTML. And the printing is same as usual. You will just go to the print and select the print format. Yeah, this is how. Now you can create multiple print formats for reports as well. We have a option in Frappe framework to hide fields based on roles and permission, but we don't have option to hide data but show the field, or we can say mask data but show the field. So data masking based on roles and permission will come in version 16. With this, you can hide the important data based on roles and permission, like how roles and permission works, and the fields will be visible. Yeah, here's a quick demo. It's just a short demo. I will just, as you can see, company is visible. I will go to the company via customize form or doc type, click on mask. I will click on the save button. And when I reload, yeah, as you can see, I don't have the permission for company to view the data, mask data. So yeah, now it is mask in list view, in form view, in report, everywhere. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, myself Dipesh, and I'm here to speak about the newest Frappe enterprise application, which is Frappe Lending. So I'll quickly start from my previous presentation. I had introduced Frappe Lending as the lending framework. So in my previous presentation, I briefly covered how Frappe Lending covers the basic flow of any type of lending cycle. And like with that, we almost had feature parity for all the features that a core basic LMS needs. So the past year for us have been like making this more stable and scalable. For that, we have increased our test coverage from like almost doubled our test coverage from 40 to 80%. And along with that, we have also worked on some scalability issues. So again, most of these developments were driven by our customer support, and the progress on that can be clearly seen with the ever declining support ticket trend. Along with that, we were also dealing with large number of data, and for that we have made various optimizations as well. Apart from that, we have also worked on few features like ability for the user to configure the loan repayment, loan accrual frequencies. Then we have added a concept called as transaction dated and value dated accounting. Most of the financial systems work on this concept where you have a separate date for your ledger and a separate date for your business accounting logic. Again, I won't explain this feature into too much deep. Or maybe you can read the documentation on how this works. Then the initial version that we came out with did not have backdated payment reposting, because again, like backdated payments need reposting. So now we have also added automated reposting. So whenever a user posts a backdated payment, the system automatically handles all the reposting, and you can go and seamlessly make backdated payments. Again, like our other products, the goal even with Frappe Lending was to build something very generic on top of which like users can build their specialized workflows, integrations, underwriting, and that is again what we have been doing with Frappe Lending. There are again different flavors of a lending system. You have your working capital loan, loan against property, supply chain finance, personal loans. Again, all of these systems are somewhat different from each other. And Frappe Lending acts as a core bookkeeping and accounting system and does all the heavy lifting with the calculations, and it allows users to build their own journeys around Frappe Lending. Again, we'll pick one simple example, which is supply chain finance from all of this, and try and briefly explain how easily you can build such systems using Frappe Lending. For those who don't know supply chain finance is a financial product that basically helps buyers, sellers optimize their cash flow needs. The way this works is there are three entities involved in this workflow: buyer, a seller, and the lender, which is the NBFC. Again, the buyer gets into an agreement with the seller and raises a PO for some goods. After that, the seller sends an invoice to the buyer. Instead of immediately paying the seller, again, there are some payment cycles. So the buyer sends that invoice to the NBFC, but the seller also has their cash flow requirements and they need cash for buying their raw materials and other things, right? So instead of buyer directly paying to the seller, the NBFC releases the invoice value to the seller, either with the discounted value, which is again also called as invoice discounting, or on a specific due date, the amount is payable. Then once the buyer has the cash, they pay it to the NBFC instead of paying it to the seller. So this is how a typically supply chain finance cycle works. So Ayush from Frappe Lending team will quickly show you a demo of how this actually works.
Hello everyone. So I'm going to show you how we implemented supply chain financing inside the Frappe Lending framework. It took us 2 days. So like think about like how powerful the generic framework that we've built is. So like Deepesh explained to you, we have three roles here: buyer, seller, and NBFC. So like in our app, you can view it from any of the three roles. So you saw the diagram before, right? So this is a one-to-one translation of it into Frappe's workflow builder. So shout out to Sharik, by the way. Like this is really a nice workflow editor. And then while we were building our loan origination module, we found that workflows were a little underpowered. Like you couldn't actually run, do a lot of things while workflow transitions were happening. So we decided to add methods to it. So you can run any sort of server scripts, webhooks, or your own code while you are making transitions. So like we used it here. So now you can make API calls while you are transitioning during reporting workflows. So I'll give you a brief showcase of how the app runs. This is a walkthrough of it. So first you make a buyer. So like a seller logs in and creates a buyer. So like they register them into the system. So you have to enter all of these details like GST, registration number and all. And then also the owner has to be added here for credit verification. So then now when you create click on the verification button, an API call is made. So you can right from your screens, you can directly make credit checks and business verifications. So after that you create credit limits. So credit limits are analogous to agreements, as you saw in the previous slides. So here you when the buyer and seller have a contract, this is their agreement, and this sets how their agreement is going to look like. Like this is their validity period, and then you also set a maximum limit amount for it, and then this sets for sets the stage for the further processes. Like from here you create the seller creates invoices, and this invoice is created by the seller, and then it goes through multiple stages. Like you first add some set the amount that you are going to be disbursing, and then after that the buyer has to approve it. So it goes to the buyer, and then the buyer approves it, and then the NBFC again checks if everything is correct, and only after that they approve it. And after that there's another step where the NBFC finally disburses the amount. So all of this is happening through workflows, and then finally after the date of repayment, the repayment is also made by the buyer. So this is the repayment schedule generated, by the way. It shows all the dates where you have to repay the amount and what the number of installments are. So this is where you make the repayment. The buyer finally selects what limit they had chosen, and then they finally pay the amount. So yeah, it is paid. So basically this was supply chain financing in 3 minutes. So I'll call Deepesh now.
Thank you, Aish, for the great demo. So yeah, again, this is just the beginning. There's a lot yet to come. Again, this is basically a specific list of feature or roadmap that you can say will be coming up within future. So yeah, again, we are very much new into this domain, and we are still learning. We have just been almost, I guess, just 2 years into this. And again, this industry is heavily controlled by enterprises. So we have been talking to multiple enterprises and yeah, learning. So, and again, we have seen a general interest from the enterprises across for the framework Frappe lending product. So yeah, if you are interested, we have a desk set up on the second floor. Maybe we can have, you can discuss. Our team will be available. Thank you.
You've just heard about the enterprise apps, right? The heavyweights. And honestly, that is what puts Frappe on the map. But let me ask you to imagine something very simple. Imagine that you are running a business, a small business. You have some set of customers already, and now you want to acquire new ones, right? So you need a CRM. You want to talk to your prospects. Next, you've onboarded your customers, and now they have some issues. They want to reach out to you. So you have Helpdesk. You also want your employees to learn and grow, share knowledge. You have learning. And finally, you want to make sense of all the data in your organization. You have insights. This is the starter pack for business. It is not as heavyweight as an ERP or not as generic as your productivity tools, but it is the middle layer that every business needs. Introducing the business apps of Frappe. So yeah, in this presentation, I'm going to walk you through our journey and especially mine because I've seen these products grow firsthand. I've been part of this team from the last 1 year, but not officially. I have been helping the team with their websites, a bit of testing, a little bit of marketing. It is only this year that I officially joined the team. From Rushabh's presentation, you might have heard that there are some things that you need to do in a business and some things that you want to do, right? I am the need to do part, the have to do part of the business team. So yes, when I first joined the team, things looked a bit chaotic to me. They were pretty clear to the business team because they were single person running each product, right? And I couldn't figure out what features they were working on or what bugs they were fixing. So the first thing that we decided was that we needed a roadmap. So now we have a product roadmap, and this roadmap has all the backlog, the features that we've shortlisted, the features that our devs are working on, and also you can go and check out what is expected to come. So yes, this is a public roadmap for all the 4 apps. You can go and check out on our GitHub repository. Okay, an interesting story. Every Tuesday, most of you might be aware here who are aware of what we do at Frappe, we have this thing called All Hands, where we go through our metrics, we see where we've done well, where we've not done well, and we go through some tickets. If we've received low rating, we open them. And we've always noticed that people in Frappe also go to the desk view. Like if they have opened Helpdesk, they go to the desk view of Helpdesk and create a report and start seeing things. And this sort of, is not the right way to use these apps, right? Because many people at Frappe, we've been using ERPNext internally and the other desk apps that you've just seen. And these are desk apps, right? Like you want to use them through desk. But these apps are built on Frappe UI and they have a beautiful front end and nobody used it. Because most of the features are present in the desk. And desk was feature rich. So the first thing that we started doing this year was bring things from the desk to the front end, starting with the settings page. So all these 4 apps now have a settings page in the front end where you do basic settings, right? They are all on the front end and you can go and check them out. I wouldn't say that 100% of the settings are in the front end. There are still bits and pieces which are in the desk, which we are actively moving right now in the front end as well. Another interesting story. So I keep talking to customers, trying to understand what they would want in the product. And I went on this call with one of our prospects. He wanted to use Frappe CRM wanted to migrate from Zoho CRM. And he was very happy with all the features that we had. But he's like, you know what? Please, can you walk me through the product? And I showed him and he was like, yes, I want to be on board. I'm excited. Let me invite my users. And I had to explain now to him, like, hey, go to the desk view, go to the user list, add users. And while explaining it to him, realized that this is not a great experience. So the next thing that we started working on is bringing the entire user management to the front end. So now you can see, you can invite users. Here is a screenshot of Helpdesk where you can invite your agents. An email goes out to him and they can join. Additionally, we've also added roles. Not the in-depth user permission yet, but now roles can be assigned from the front end as well. So if you have a CRM user or a CRM manager, all that can be set up from here for all the apps. Email account setup is a necessary thing. Like if you are using CRM, you want to get your leads through email. Similarly for Helpdesk Learning Insights. So now email account setup is also in the front end. You can choose one of the domains and do your entire setup through the front end. Custom branding is also part of it. You can make all of these products your own by setting your brand in the brand settings. Right. So just bringing things from desk to front end wasn't enough, right? We wanted new users also to be familiar with the product. And we have introduced onboarding. If you have signed up on Frappe Cloud for one of these products or have installed them, you will see that on the right side, you will have a side panel of onboarding, which has different steps mentioned, right from creating a new lead or creating an agent, inviting your agents. There are steps mentioned. Once you click on it, it will take you to the screen. You can fill in your details. If you want, you can skip certain steps. You can reset the steps, and it's a complete walkthrough of the initial things that you need to get your products up and running. This is there for all the apps, so you can check them out. Moving forward, one thing that we realized that just making the products feature-rich wasn't enough. We truly believe that one thing that would set us apart is our design. So firstly, a huge shout out to Sandeep and his team from Timeless. They are here and they have been helping us with designing these apps. So this territory was pretty new for me. Now I'm a part of this design process. I have calls with the team and Timeless, and a lot of thought is actually put in designing these screens. What you can see on the screens are work in progress designs. So this is Helpdesk, and we are working on landing pages as well. So yeah, we want to make the entire user experience and the UI very easy, very smooth and minimalistic. So we are investing time in improving the UI and UX of our products. And yes, after doing all this, this has to finally translate to numbers, right? So thanks to you and thanks for showing this love. We have these are the GitHub stars that we've received, and you can see a huge jump in this year because of collective efforts, the improved products, marketing, improvements, and your trust in us. Our monthly signups have also grown. You can see that now we get almost 2.5 signups for these products every month. And finally, our active paid users have also grown by 2.5 times what they were last year. So thank you so much. And yeah, I just want to set context for the presentations that are going to come up next. The theme for this year, at least for the business apps, is that we are listening. We are listening to you, and you will see them in action in the coming presentations. So over to the devs who are making it happen. I want to invite Jannat, who is going to walk you through Frappe Learning and all the developments made last year. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jannat Patel, and I'm the product engineer of Frappe Learning. In my last year's talk, I gave you guys a walkthrough of how I rewrote the entire application to make all of the pages reactive. With that, ended phase 1 of the app's development cycle. All the features that a learning management system should have were present in the app by that point. For phase 2, I wanted to focus on the features that would enhance the learning experience for students, features that would help the instructors increase the level of assessments, and features that would elevate the overall system to the next level. That was my goal for this year. And in the next few minutes, I'll be giving you a walkthrough of exactly these features. So let's get started. How many of you used highlighters in your student days? A show of hands. Yes, many. So students have this habit of highlighting important information when studying. Students can now highlight these important informations right in their lessons in Frappe Learning. All they have to do is select the text that they want to highlight and then select the relevant color, and then their highlight gets saved. Each time then they visit the lesson, their highlights are maintained, helping them with quick revisions. Many students also have a habit of making notes while studying. Students can now maintain notes right in Frappe Learning. Below each lesson is the notes section, wherein students can note down their points. If they have some important points from the lesson, they can highlight them and add them to their notes. The points that they've added right from the notes, if they click on it, they are redirected to the section from where that point came from for quick reference. When learning, focus is really important. Students can now enable Zen mode in Frappe Learning. When Zen mode is enabled, all of the content goes away and only the lesson content remains behind. Students can focus on the lesson content They can move between lessons right from here. If they hover on the course title, they get to see the progress that they've made so far. And if they click on the discussions icon, the discussions section opens up, which is by default disabled in Zen mode. How many of you use Duolingo? Yeah, I have used Duolingo too, and in my personal experience, streaks are purely addictive. There is something that makes you want to go back and see that number increase. Frappe Learning now maintains streaks for students. Each day they complete a learning activity like completing a lesson, a quiz, or an assignment. Their streak gets updated for that day and increases incrementally every single day if they do not skip. Coming to the instructor's perspective, Frappe Learning already had quizzes in the form of multiple choice questions. But what if an instructor wants to know the detailed thoughts of a student on a particular question? They can now do so with the help of open-ended quizzes. With these quizzes, students can enter detailed response for every single question. They can also attach images and videos to make their responses even more detailed. When they submit such quizzes, they are informed that an instructor will grade this quiz for them. And then moving on to the instructor's view, this is what they see. They see the submission and individual responses made by the student. When they enter their marks and save, the total score and passing percentage gets calculated automatically. You're an instructor who has a lot of video content in your lesson, and you want to make sure that your students are really paying attention to the videos. You can do so with the help of in-video quizzes. Basically, you're placing quizzes at particular timestamps right in between the video. So when the student is watching this video and they get to that timestamp, a pop-up opens up informing that a quiz is about to begin. And then the actual quiz starts. When the student is done and submits the quiz, they get to see their percentage, their total score. And then if they click on the resume video button, the video starts right from where it had left. This goes on for all of the quizzes that are there in that video, making sure that instructors know how attentive their students were for that video. Instructors can now also enable negative marking for quizzes. They can also configure how much marks should be deducted for each wrong answer. If you're an instructor who's making a course on programming, you can now evaluate your students with programming exercises. To create a programming exercise, all you have to do is enter a title, select a language, add a problem statement, and add your test cases with inputs and expected output. Then, when a student opens up the programming exercise, they see the problem statement on one end and the code editor on the other end. When they run their code gets run against all of the test cases that the instructor had entered. If test cases are failing, they can make changes to their code again and run again till all of their test cases pass. One of the most requested features by the community, many of you guys had content already created in the form of SCORM packages, and you asked if you could include that content itself in Frappe Learning. You can now do so with the help of chapters. All you have to do is enter a title and select your zip file for the SCORM package. And then the students can access this content the same way they would access their lessons right from their course outline. If you're an instructor who's created multiple courses on a single domain and you want to recommend a certain order to your students, you can now do so with the help of programs. When the student opens up the program list, they see all of the programs that they're enrolled in. When they open the program, they get to see the courses that are a part of that program. And if an order has been enforced for that program, students cannot start the second course without completing the first course. But this is totally optional. You can also create programs that do not enforce order. Frappe Learning has live class, which is basically a Zoom integration. One of the features that you guys requested was tracking attendance for live classes. You can now do so for every live class that has ended. You get to see all of the students that attended the live class. When was the time when they joined? When was the time when they left? And what was the total duration for which they attended the class? We now have better reporting for course instructors. The course progress summary tells you the progress made by every single student enrolled in that course. You also get to see the average progress and a progress distribution chart. If you have a lot of video content in your lessons, you can also now track watch time of every single student. You also get to see the average watch time. Both of these reports make sure that you as an instructor get to know if your students are stuck somewhere or if your course content is performing well or not. Previously, there was no homepage in Frappe Learning. The course list was the default homepage for every kind of user. We now have a crafted homepage for every single user, which means that if I'm a student, I get to see my recently enrolled courses, my recently enrolled batches, all of my upcoming live classes, and all of my upcoming evaluations. This makes sure that I have all the important information right in front of me and I do not miss any of my commitments. Frappe Learning crossed 2,000 stars this year, and this is all because of you guys, so thanks a lot for this. As my colleague Michelle highlighted, we are maintaining a roadmap for most of our products now. Frappe Learning has a dedicated roadmap too that you can find on our GitHub repository. Some of the upcoming features that we have include coupon code discount for paid courses and batches, draft lessons so you don't have to publish your content immediately, RTL support, and more better and better ways to assess your students. That is all from my end today.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sharik Ansari, product engineer at Frappe. So I've been building Frappe CRM for past 2 years now. So last year I presented how we shaped Frappe CRM, but this year it is different. Our focus is different. Instead of building it for ourselves, we are listening, as Michelle said, and we listen to the feedback from our customer, partners, and community. And this really changed how we prioritize features. So one of the most important feature was Exotel. So we already had Twilio integration, but it doesn't work with Indian numbers. Most of our Indian customers asked for it, so we have added Exotel. So now both Twilio and Exotel work together. If you want to make one of them as your default calling medium, you can do that as well. Next, we also added some improvement in our sales pipeline, and these are some of the features. So salesperson either sells a product or a service to the customer, and they needed somewhere to store this data. So we have added a product table in the deal page. Now they can store what service they are selling and what is the cost. And if they are selling multiple of products, they can see the expected deal value of that deal. Also, the probability is now automatically, it gets set automatically based on the deal stage. So each stage has its own probability and it is customizable as well. And lastly, if deal is lost, now you can also capture the reason why it is lost, and businesses can analyze why deals are getting lost and to make their sales process better. But these all features in CRM make CRM more powerful out of the box. But businesses are different, so we also focused on making it customizable. So this year, the biggest goal was to allow businesses to set up their CRM on their own without any external help. So we added some low-code features. So CRM has every deal has some data, and you visualize that data at many places. For example, in the sidebar. And this sidebar can have multiple sections and fields, but it get easily cluttered and you cannot add all types of data here. But so to solve that problem, we have added data tab. Now, this UI, you can add different types of data like table, and you can also customize this layout using a UI editor. You can add tabs, columns, sections, all of them, all from the UI. Not only this, all over the place in CRM, like creation model also is now customizable using the same UI. So other than layouts, we also made, so salesperson wants to quickly filter the data and work on the deals. So they needed some way to add those filters, and now you can do it from the UI. You can also rearrange them as you need. But of course, no code is not enough. To handle complex scenarios, we also focused on improving our developer experience. And now we've added better scripting. For developers in the community, now writing client script is much easier. No need to remember complex syntax. Now we are following class-based approach, and the code is very JavaScript friendly. As you can see, the before and after, it is much cleaner and simpler to write. So coming to the other part of the CRM, where business take decision based on data, we finally added dashboard. Now managers can analyze the performance of the salesperson using the inbuilt charts. They can also filter using date and the sales user. There are many inbuilt charts like sales trend, forecasting, funnel, deals by territory, and many more. We have also made this customizable, so you can remove the charts you don't want and rearrange them as you need. We have also added forecasting feature, which, by the way, you can enable from the settings. But after enabling, now you can capture expected value of the deal, and this results in giving you the forecasted revenue of the deal on that particular month. Now, managing calls, meetings, and follow-ups is the key part of the CRM. So now we have introduced calendar view. Now, salesperson can view all their events on one view. They can switch between daily, weekly, and monthly. They can create the event right from the calendar. They can rearrange it, they can resize it, or link it, or invite existing contacts or new contacts, or link it with their existing deals. And in deals also we have added an events tab where all the events for that deal is listed. So many more features like Google Calendar integration, repeatable events, task management is work in progress. And many more features will come in calendar and it will be released soon. And one of the most requested feature from the community is campaign app, which is coming as an integration built by Frappe Studio. And Rucha is giving a talk tomorrow, so stay tuned for this. Also, to end with it, we also are working on social media integration. So Hussein is from BWS Studio is working on it. Using this, you can sync leads from various social media mediums like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. So that's all about the features came to CRM this year. So we have many more features in our pipeline, like more customization features, landing page, desk-free setup, as Michelle mentioned. We are moving from desk to front end, and automation, and many more. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ritvik and I'm the product engineer of Frappe Helpdesk. Some of you might know me from this video, which recently got viral on YouTube and Instagram. A lot of people came to know about Frappe from this, and here I talked about Frappe and also won the competition. Talking about my journey, it has been almost 1.5 years since I've been working on this software. And the experience has been pretty great. After my conference last year, I continued working the way I was doing, and everything was going fine, or at least I thought so. After talking to some of our support team members and some of our internal team, I realized that there are big gaps in Frappe Helpdesk. Even Ankush from our team wrote a ranting game plan post where he was talking about the current state of Helpdesk and where it can go. This made me realize that what impact this kind of software makes in the life of agents. And that day I decided that, I will work on the features that will enhance the experience of agents. And that's what we did. Starting with custom views, one of the most common operations an agent does on daily basis is see the ticket from various resources, maybe a ticket with high priority or some open status tickets, or maybe tickets from some customers. So previously agents had to, alter between these filters again and again. But now with the help of custom views, what we can do is in the list view, we can add our filters, the customer and the priority. And along with that, we can create a view out of it. Once we create a view, we have two options. The first one is that we can either pin the view so that it is easily accessible on the sidebar, but we can also make a view public so that it is accessible to the whole organization. Now this feature is also available on the customer portals of the site as well. Talking about the ticket view, this is where most of the time is spent by agents. This is where they spend most of their time. And let us see what value does it really provide to the agents. So all of the data that would possibly there is bombarded on the right side panel. The contact information, the feedback, the SLA, the core tickets took the core data and along with the custom fields. So this does not really provide some distinction between these kind of data which deserve separate spaces. So we decided to give it a revamp. So presenting to you the new ticket view. With the help of this new UI, agents can focus on the things that really matters. So for example, SLA is now at the top, which is clearly distinct from the other area. Feedback is color coded to easily see the feedback. The core fields are in this manner, which are clearly separated from the core field, custom fields which are added. There is also a contact tab so that we can see more information regarding the person who is raising the ticket. Not only this, we have improved the UI UX of the ticket view, but we have also introduced many features, starting with agent collision. So let us imagine that I am working on this ticket. So there is a possibility that some other agent might also be working on the same ticket at the same time. Previously, there was no way to know whether that was the case, but now we do. As soon as some agent lands on this particular ticket, we will see the indicator on the right top corner. And let us say if I start drafting some kind of response and the other agent also starts drafting response, we will see the indicator on the side as well, providing a clear So yeah, that was agent collision. So talking about the next feature, which is recent and similar tickets. As soon as some user raises a ticket, we can now see in the side panel the recently raised tickets by that customer. And along with that, we can also see the similar tickets which have the similar queries. So that if the ticket is already resolved with similar query, the agent can refer to that and see the response and help this ticket customer to resolve their issue faster. One of the major themes, as Michelle mentioned, was that we are moving features from desk to front end, and that's what we did. Starting with SLAs. SLAs can now be created from the front end itself. We can add the assignment conditions. Previously, we had to write a lot of code for adding the assignment conditions, but with the help of new UI, we have made the experience much better. We can add the first response and resolution time. We can add the working hour for each day. And along with that, we can also add the holiday list. In the holiday list, as it has major improvements, we can add recurring holidays such as every Sunday and Saturday is a holiday in my company. I can add that, and I can even add a custom holiday like Independence Day. After doing so, I can link that holiday list to the SLA. So whenever a ticket is created with this SLA, this holiday list is matched. Similarly, we have also moved assignment rules to the front end. So we can create assignment conditions similar to SLAs, and here we can select the assignment schedule. We can select the ticket routing rules, which is basically the round robin or ticket assignment based on workload. We can add the assignees and the assignment rule is created. As the year went by, we started gaining more traction and we started, getting a lot of people started using it. It came to a point, where people started posting about Frappe Helpdesk on platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn. And these were like virality movement for Helpdesk throughout the year. And within no time, the Helpdesk star shoot up from 500 last year to more than 2,500 as of now. As more people started using this product, we started gaining a lot of requests. The request of some features which we don't need at Frappe. But what I realized was if I want to cater this software to a wider audience, we need to listen to you. And so we did. And that's where we are now. And we are building more features like that. So starting with field dependency. So with the help of field dependency, what we can do is we can select a parent field, let's say category, and a child field subcategory. We can select the option for each value from here. And based on certain criteria, we can make a field mandatory or non-mandatory, and if the field should be visible in the ticket creation flow or not. So now we'll move to the ticket creation flow. So once we do so, we will, let's say if we select Helpdesk, we'll set the subcategory are automatically filtered. And as soon as I select the ERPNext, the subcategory becomes mandatory. So this gives a great UI and UX for better ticket creation process. Another major feature request which I've received throughout the year was the integration of telephony. Like we at Frappe, most of our ticket comes from customer portal, but we realized that a lot of people use a telephone to get support. So we have introduced telephony. So with the help of this integration, we have added 2 new integrations into the Helpdesk. First is Exotel for Indian customers and Twilio for international customers. With the help of new UI, agents can now contact their customers by clicking on the button here. And they can put the number, they can select the medium, which is either Twilio or Exotel. They can make as a default and they can call. This pop-up will appear over here. And once the call is initiated, you can talk to the customer. And once the agent is done, you can click on the UI and then close the sidebar, close it. Similarly to telephony, people also get tickets via emails. One of the things which we we were hearing was that the email experience was not good, so we decided to make it better. So now we have better email experience, starting with email threading, so that customers don't lose the context of the conversation which they are having. Acknowledgement email, so that whenever a customer raises a ticket in the system, an acknowledgement email is automatically sent to the person who has raised it. The feedback email. So previously we used to collect feedback only for the tickets raised by customer portal, but that is not the case now. And most importantly, whatever emails you are seeing, you just saw, are customizable with the help of customized templates. So you can use Jinja templating over here, and you can basically change the email content according to your needs. Again, one of the most requested features after telephony was custom statuses. Previously, Helpdesk restricted users to use only 4 statuses, but not now. We can have as many statuses as we want. We can map it to SLA, and this will be shown in the new UI of the ticket. Talking about the other side of things, as the manager of the company or as the CEO of the company, I want to see, the bird eye view of my organization, how my team is performing, how my team is giving support, how a particular agent is giving support. And so we introduced dashboards. With the help of dashboards, we can select a date range for that. And apart from that, we can see the data. We can even see the ticket information about a particular team and a particular agent as well, so that we can see, which agent is the best performer of this week or which is the worst performer. So what's next, right? There are a lot of features that we are going to introduce in the upcoming months and years, but all of those features are catering to one vision which I have for Helpdesk, and that is to make it the default product if any company in the world wants to provide support to their customers. The aim is that basically the agent should be happy while using it, the customer should be happy while receiving the responses, and that's it. So you can track all of our features which we are working on in this roadmap over here, as Michelle mentioned. You can add some enhancement requests by creating an issue, and if it is good enough, we'll take care from that. So thank you so much, everyone.
So hi everyone, I'm Shazil Ansari. I joined Frappe around 3 months ago, and since then I've been working on Frappe Insights. So many of you might be expecting Saqib Ansari to give a talk here today, but he is out there exploring some other projects in the team, and while still passively maintaining Frappe Insights. So last year when Saqib Ansari launched Frappe Insights version 3, the main focus was the query building experience and the user experience flow. So this year we decided to focus on how to improve the data visualization. So since the launch of the V3 of Frappe Insights, we saw twice the number of active sites on Frappe Cloud. And this is the And now Frappe Insights has the highest amount of installs for all the new business among all the new business apps. So talking about the features, the first feature we worked on was drill downs. So previously all the charts were static, and you couldn't find the reason why you were seeing a downward trend in a chart. So with the help of drill downs, you can easily investigate the reason behind why there's a downward trend in your chart, or why there's a sudden spike. So all the filters you apply here is only for ad hoc analysis. So as the saying goes, whatever happens in drill down dialogues stays in drill down dialogue. So this does not affect the underlying charts or queries at all. It is only for ad hoc analysis. So moving on, the most requested feature of Frappe Insights is finally here, map chart. So introducing map charts. So map charts is not here just to make your dashboards look pretty, but also to gain meaningful insights out of it. So let me walk through it with an example. So you can use the visual indicator on the left side to highlight the country within the range of it, And when you click on the country, it will open the drill down dialog where you can investigate the whatever the reason might be for the low or high value. But wait, there's more. So if you have data of your country, you can also use the state column, and all if you have data of state wise breakdown as well, you can break out by the city data too. So when you click on the city, on the state, it will open a drill down dialog. And if you have a city wise data as well, it will filter out all the cities for that state. So you can investigate where your data is concentrated at. Again, one of the most expected features, conditional formatting. So this is the standard table chart. Here, if I wanted to see the best performing stores based on the daily sales, I would need to sort it out and then read through it, scan through it, and compare each and every row visually. But with the introduction of conditional formatting, you can just add a select color scale, select a column, and that's it. It will apply automatic color scaling to all the rows. But wait, there's more. What if I wanted to see another column but only the top 10 values of it? You can also easily highlight the top 10 rows based on the values of a column using the ranking rules as well. So I'll just highlight it as green, and you can see the top 10 values has been highlighted as green color. And folders. So when you have tens of queries and tens of chart in your workbook, it quickly got cluttered, and it was not a wonderful experience for the end users. So introducing folders to manage your workbook sidebar. So you can drag and drop, rearrange, and move your queries in your folders. Also rename as well. This makes the arranging of your queries in a more professional way. So what's next? You can track the what new features we are working on our GitHub repo. And I would like to talk about the two new features we'll be working on. The first will be templates. We want to make insights for everyone. Anyone, no matter what their expertise is, or what's their background is, they should be able to use Frappe Insights. So with the help of templates, they can use ready-made pre-built templates provided by their organization, or they can get one from the community and build complex queries and dashboards out of it. And secondly, embedded dashboards. So some of you might not be happy with the current dashboards and you want to customize it. So with the help of embedded dashboards, you can create whatever dashboards you want and just seamlessly integrate it with other Frappe apps. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think you've seen the business apps presentation and also the enterprise apps presentation, and you want to know what to do next. Well, you're free to self-host, but if you want an easy way out, I would suggest go to Frappe Cloud. Here's a quick way you could do that. Go to our website. You can see all our products here. Select the product, go to Get Started. We've also improved the entire sign-up experience, so it's going to be pretty easy. Put in your email ID, you'll get a verification code, add that, and proceed. Put in your information, and your account should be ready in less than a minute. You can change your name as well, the site name. Right, the site is ready, put in your information. And yeah, this is Frappe CRM. Like I mentioned, there is an onboarding panel and you can get started. Now, if you're wondering what to do next and how to get started, go to GitHub. If you have any requests, the product roadmap is available. So you can just go and create an issue. And if there are already existing issues, you can upvote. We will be taking from there. We are also writing user stories. So if you have any comments as to how a certain feature should look, please go and comment there. We'll take it from there. You can also directly reach out to us on frappe.io/contact us. And you can drop an email. And yes, if you want to get in touch with us, please come to the Hall of Knowledge where we have the lunch, and we'll have a product table set there. See you there. Thank you.